Hey, what's up everybody? This is Todd here with Start Your Systems, bringing you a brand new track walk video in MX Bikes. I believe this is number 20 now for the MX Bike series. And yeah, we're bringing you a new paid track brought to you by Pastico. This track is currently available for $1 on the MX Bike shop. Definitely worth it. The title of the track is called UnearthingMX. If any of you guys, came from the MX Sim days, this track was actually a staple made in, I think, 2017? Yeah, 2017 by the one and only Kyle Watts. I don't know if you guys have been around long enough, but Kyle Watts was actually a great track builder in the MX Sim days. Worked with the RF crew, make some of the supercrosses. But yeah, a guy named Pastico has now pretty much taken what was a great track and had converted it to MX Bikes. He goes to great lengths to thank WDMX, who is Kyle Watts, for allowing him to take the track, get the height maps from him, and then kind of massage it and like convert it to make it work for MX Bikes. He also has a few other people he likes to thank. He wanted to thank Manu for texture help, Kraken for software, GeoPanda for objects, Nico for helping him a lot with normal problems, Bobby Concept Graph for ideas, Noxel for ideas, and as well as any others that he may have forgotten. But yeah, so this track looks like it takes place, Arizona, New Mexico-ish area, I would say. Kind of a desert valley, really good flow, pretty wide open. There's only maybe a few jumps here and there where you kind of have, there's a few jumps and sections where you have to really like slow down and time it. But for the most part, it's just a flowy, wide open track. And it actually does give the MX Sim version justice. It's pretty similar. If you'd actually like to go see what the MX Sim version was like, I think Kellen made a video, man, it had to have been at least 2017, so 6 years ago now, on this track. I believe it was track walk 134 for MX Sim. So if you guys just have nothing else to do and want to go check out another video and just want to compare the tracks and the different versions, go ahead. That's where you go. I think it's 134 for MX Sim track walk. But yeah, track is really well built. Obviously he had a really just a good base to start with, honestly, but he's also done a very good job of converting it to bikes physics and just the way the bike works in the game. It just flows very well, and I really hope that this just starts a new trend of bringing back really good old MX Sim tracks and kind of giving them a new life in MX Bikes. There's so many classic tracks that I can remember over my time of playing MX Sim that I kind of miss. I don't really touch Sim a whole lot anymore personally, and I just started recently getting back into bikes again. But man, there's so many classic tracks that I can remember still to this day that I spent so many hours on. I think it would be cool to bring a few of them back. Maybe even if you could get some of the old track builders, or if they were to allow, like what Kyle Watts did for Pastico to make this track, allow people to take them height maps and convert them over to MX Bikes use. I know that like having countless Checkers tracks would be so fun. Checkers was definitely one of my favorite track builders in MX Sim. And I know I would definitely enjoy having some of his tracks back for MX Bikes. Not that MX Bikes is lacking in tracks, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great track builders out there, but I don't know. I think it's just nostalgia. I'd love to have some of the tracks from the good old days of getting into Sim, kind of back into MX Bikes would be really cool. But yeah, let's get to talking about this track. Like I said before, very flowy. It's in a little valley here. Some kind of desert valley, whether it's Arizona, Utah-ish, New Mexico-ish, somewhere in there. Just gives off that kind of vibe with the cactus and just the color of the dirt. And this section coming up just shows one of the really good options that they provide you on this track. You can either do this double to the outside, go around the inside roller and then double over this little valley, or the other line is to use the little inside double or the little inside lip to double over and then try to double up the hill. I can't do it on the 250 personally, so I tend to use the outside line because it's faster, but that inside line is probably definitely more viable on a 450 and much more fun. It's pretty wide open, like I said earlier. There's maybe one or two sections where you kind of have to check up. I know that table kind of in the back after the long roller section is one of the sections where you kind of have to check up in order to make the triple over. And then this triple here is, I haven't been able to do it on a 450 at all, or on a 250 at all. It's definitely a 450 jump. I went back and watched Kellen's track walk video in sim to see if it was possible, and it was definitely possible in sim on a 450. But on a 250 and MX bikes, I've been having troubles. There's no way I could clear that. So I usually just scrub double it. Yeah, this is definitely a track where you can get on and just have some fun with friends and just, you know, throw whips. And it's actually probably a good racing track too, with all the options you have available. There's a lot of, you know, good and useful inside and outside features. I mean, they're come out pretty similar as far as speed goes. You don't really have to like check up too much for the insides, or, you know, go out too far for the outside. So most of the lines actually, I feel like, come out pretty similar. At least on a 250 on this track, though, I do like taking a lot of the outside lines just to carry momentum. But for the most part, I feel like if you actually, you know, held a race with some buddies here, you could probably have really good battles. And one of the details that I like here is that he added that little stake there, little yellow stake. I think it's the only stake that I see that's just laying sideways on the track. But just like that little touch of having like just one stake off and not being in the track is just like, I like those little details that people add. And I like to see that people, you know, think about those little things. Also, the green banners don't really have collisions. Nothing really has collisions on this map, though, but except for the hay bale tough blocks. They'll catch you every now and then if you know, get Bobo bounced or whatever into one. Other than that, though, I don't think that I haven't had any collisions. There's not even collisions, you know, up at the warehouse up top. You can just ride through the walls. But yeah, the track is just built really well. I've been having a lot of fun playing it. I've been playing it I probably have an hour or two in on it right now. I think my fastest lap is probably around like a 207. I feel like if you're, at least on a 250, if you're like really hauling, you're probably going to run about a 2-minute lap time, maybe even into the ones, 1 minutes. But I feel about 2 minutes is pretty good. Like it's a long enough track. Definitely get some good racing in on it. And I think my favorite section is this one coming up here. You kind of have to like check up, double, and then you just kind of like skim these or double through them, and then it's like a on off and then skim out. It's really fun. I don't know, I love timing that section right, and then just hitting these doubles wide open into this big floater. And then this section here is one where you have to check up on this table here. The step over before it is pretty easy. You have to check up on this table and then just be wide open for the triple after. And I don't think I've cleared the triple like clean. I've probably cleared it maybe a handful of times, like super clean. Otherwise, I usually just kind of case it and get a weird little bounce and I'm able to ride away from it. But that's probably the only section where you kind of have to like check up just a little bit. Otherwise, the rest of the track is pretty much wide open. Again, shout out to Pastico for making this track. I've been having a ton of fun on it. I think this is the first track I've ridden of his. I mean, if I've ridden tracks in the past, I had no clue that it was him that made it. This is from what I can see, the first post he's ever had on the MXB shop. Definitely worth your dollar if you're wanting to check out a new track. And yeah, I've been having a blast on it. Like I said, like I can spend an hour and just lose track of time, just throwing whips and having fun with friends. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the track. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. So long for now.